think my water bottle's leaking. Anyway. There goes my phone. There goes my phone. I was like, what? Well, here we are. We're back. Hello, hello, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Anna's Health Diaries. Hope you enjoyed episode 1. I'm just so excited to be filming this. So let's get straight into my topic for today, which is gut. I have been dealing with gut issues for at least 3 years now, 3 to 4 years. Similar time, I guess I started noticing them a bit after I noticed my skin, like maybe the next year. So I've been, dealing with it for a good 3 years now, a bit over 3 years. So it's kind of become my norm, but I'm still working on it and it's getting better. So it's really, really exciting. So that's what I'm chatting to you today. So if you haven't watched my first episode, I will link it up here or here. That will give you an overview on what I've been doing and where I have come from to get me to where I am today. So that would be a good place to start. So going back, it was about 2017-ish. Yeah, about 2017. Around like the same time my mum passed away actually, I started noticing I was bloating after everything I was eating. And when I say everything, I mean everything. I had no idea what was bloating me. I did not know. I didn't think, and if I keep reaching over, it's because I've got my notes on my phone, so I get everything out. I couldn't remember what I was eating that would bloat me. Like, for example, I went out to get a smoothie bowl with some good friends, a couple of good friends, and, there was a lot of, like, fruit in it, which is, high in that type of sugar, but, I mean, wasn't worried about that. And I was 4 months pregnant with a food baby, and my friends would just be normal, not bloated. I was like, I don't know if this is normal to be bloated this much after eating a smoothie bowl. And when my friends weren't seeing any effects on their gut and their digestive system, I was just like, I felt really uncomfortable, and it's just not fun being bloated. Guys, like, being bloated is not normal. Like, it is not normal. Our gut is trying to tell us something. If we're bloating after we're eating, obviously, like, if we overeat, then we'll probably bloat. But if you're just overeating sometimes, then maybe that's it. But if we're bloating after everything we're eating, it's just it's not normal. It's not normal. That's why I'm here, to change that, to change people's perceptions on it. At this time, after noticing I was bloating after everything, like really, like actually noticing it properly, I don't know, I can't remember if I was bloating like that beforehand. Like before all of this, I ate whatever I wanted to without gaining weight. I mean, I haven't been worried about that ever. Without gaining weight, without being bloated. I'm pretty sure like my skin was pretty good before this too. Like, I was eating gluten and dairy and bread, and I was still eating really well. But just I kind of ate whatever. And then, once I got back, I lived in Japan for 3 months, and if you want to watch those videos, I did a Japan Diaries video, so you can watch it up here wherever I link it. And after I got back from there and I put on 6 kilos, I decided, okay, it's time to change this, and I wanted to lose the weight because I just wasn't happy. And then from then, so that was, when was that? That was started 2015, where I really started my health journey and started retraining my taste buds, which is definitely a thing. You can really definitely change your taste buds if you're wanting to incorporate more healthy foods and a healthy lifestyle into your life. That was kind of when I started my health, like eating wise, was the start of 2015. I was like, okay, something has to change. I can't keep eating like this forever. I started, incorporating exercise more, and just changing chocolate for cacao, for example. Still enjoying it, but those little tweaks. So back to 2017, when I noticed my gut issues. I was recommended by a really good friend of mine to see a naturopath/nutritionist on the Gold Coast when I was living there. They had seen them as well, and they saw really great results. A few members of their family had also seen them and seen really great results. So I was like, you know what, why not? And I went there and I spoke to the lovely lady, Lyndall, who was my nutritionist for a little while. And firstly, she did a mineral test on me, which just like takes all of the minerals in my body and tests them for their levels and stuff. This was, I'm going to show you my test results. So this was it. I don't know how well you can see that, but it was a mineral test report. And and then when I got there, they took my blood group. I'm actually type A blood. my weight and my height, my date of birth, and it tested all things like calcium, magnesium, chromium, iodine, all this type of stuff. And I was deficient in a lot of stuff, like my calcium was actually okay. My calcium was in the okay normal mark. Magnesium, silicon, they were all really deficient, as well as zinc was really deficient, but now I've high in zinc, so that's obviously balanced itself out. Chromium, which could have been leading to sugar cravings, so this is like a little while ago. I used to eat until I was busting, like bursting. Sulfur was really deficient, my liver was just not working, and like aluminium, like mercury was okay actually, but there was a lot, as you can see. I don't know actually if you can see, but like, I don't know how close that is, but see how all the yellow, if you can see the yellow, high. I had most of my things in the high section. And yeah, so that was that. And then later on I got retested the same test about a year later, or like 6 months later, and my levels got so much better. And there was still like it's like aluminium, silver, other minerals, lead. So my levels were so much better in the second test than the first test. So I did that mineral test, which was great. So that kind of like helped us figure out a plan. So then I did that. So that was like a handprint test, and it's like a German test. So that was like my fingerprints, and it was an instant result. And then I also got my blood type done, and I also then did an intolerance test, which is a finger prick. And at the time of 2017 when I did this, it was end of January 2018 that I did this intolerance test. And I had main allergens were dairy, egg, Brazil nut, rice, wheat and corn. And then I had mild allergens: ginger, legumes, rye, oat, gluten, almonds, potato and peanut. So I didn't eat any of these foods for, it was said 3 months they recommended, but I didn't eat it for about a year and a half, because I was just like, no, like when I'm dedicated with anything in life, I dedicate myself to. So I was like, no, I want to heal my gut. And I just had other things to like incorporate and like kind of put into my diet. With this nutritionist and naturopath, I did the mineral test, I did intolerance testing, then like we found out like I had leaky gut, which was leading to intolerances and all that type of stuff. When I say leaky gut is holes in the intestinal wall, which allows food to go through when they're not meant to go through, and therefore leading to bloating. So at the time, that's what they were saying. And with that, I also had a whole heap of supplements that I was on. I want to read out to you what I was on. I've got my whole folder here. I was on, I'm just going to count them. I was on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 supplements, which is a lot. I'm not on that many now, thank God. But they were all kind of, you know, specified to me and what I needed. And he kind of said, and then I transferred to, in the same practice, to the naturopath, and he did a very, I don't know what it was, to be honest. It's like I love it because I'm all about all this type of alternate stuff, because obviously I'm doing this all naturally, but pretty much attached to this machine, and uses the laws of energy and physics and energy to talk to the body, I guess. And you put like, say, a supplement or like rice on the little thing, on the tester thing, and then it like he holds like a metal rod over your stomach, and if it moves, and it tells you if your body likes it or not. So I did that for a good year, and I healed a lot of my intolerances through that, and it's very alternate, but allowed myself to learn a lot about my body. And I also actually did a stool test. I forgot about that. I did a stool test, so I pretty much had to poo on something, which was a fun experience. But anyway, you gotta do what you gotta do. Came back with, you know, imbalances and everything in my gut flora, just like my gut bacteria and everything like that. And then from that stool test, he was like, oh, you know, most people would say that you have SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And I think he treated me for that. Like, I was on antimicrobials to kill it off, and then I did the low FODMAP diet for a little while, for 2 weeks. Low FODMAP is not long term. So I did that for a little bit while I was living in Sydney. So last year I did that. No, 2 years ago. Oh, wow. I did that 2 years ago. No, just like certain foods you can't eat and certain amounts of food you can't eat because it ferments in your small intestine. And then it kind of was just like, didn't really speak about that again. I was like, okay. So I've kind of known for a little while, I think, that I had that. I've done my own research and everything like that. And then after that, I did GAPS diet. I think I did it for like 3 or 4 weeks, which again, you know, I was like dedicated, like I stuck by the low FODMAP. I did feel better on that. The GAPS diet was even harder because it's a lot more restrictive, but again, I was only meant to be on that for like no, the low FODMAP was like 2 weeks, and then GAPS I did for like 4 weeks. So I've been through a lot. I've done a lot of diets to heal my gut. I've learned a lot about the body and about what I like to eat. So the GAPS diet stands for gut and psychology syndrome. So a lady came up with that. I'm not going to go into details. It's a thing. It is a condition that, and like a diet that establishes a connection between the functions of the digestive system and the brain. That is the overall aim of the GAPS diet. So it's naturally based diet because it's food to treat chronic inflammation in the body, in the digestive tract as a result of damaged gut linings. So I was on that for a little bit. And then I was just like, it was way too restrictive for my liking. And I was just like, I can't like live off this. It was like very restrictive. So I did that for a little bit. And like throughout this whole time, like I was still bloating. Like a lot. And I'd cut out gluten, dairy, all those foods. And like everything's linked. So, you know, skin, gut, periods. At this stage, I still didn't know my periods were like, it was bad that I hadn't had them. It wasn't like my main focus. My main focus has always been up until like this year, start of this year, end of last year, probably end of last year, was to heal my gut and my skin. And I was like, yeah, cool, you know, I don't have to worry about my period. But now that I'm getting older, I'm like, no, I want to figure it out and I want to have balanced, healthy hormones and a gut healthy and skin, everything, as everything's linked. And I stopped seeing them end of last year, start of this year. I went back to them the start of this year for my eye, that I had a weird thing with my eye. But I've stopped seeing those guys now. I love them. They're so beautiful. I love those guys and I'm so grateful for them. I just, you know, I was like, okay, it's time for the next step in my health journey. At the end of last year, I went to America and Europe. Love them. Stay tuned for those vlogs. They're coming. And then I started working with Amanda at Raw Fitness and Nutrition. She is amazing. Highly recommend her if you have some gut issues, or also does personal training, which I still am doing currently as we speak. Do gym workouts through her, even though she's based in America. I started seeing Amanda because I was like, okay, like I've been following her for a while, let's do it. And I invested in myself. Once again, I've invested in so much in myself over the last 3-4 years for my health journey. Like all aspects I've invested in myself, because our health is our greatest wealth. If we're not healthy and able to live our life, then what is the point? We need to look after our health, and that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this message, and for myself investing in health practitioners and all these things that feel right to me, because I'm doing it naturally. It costs a little bit more, but it's just high value, you know, it's just a high value practice that I'm doing for myself that will then allow me to, in the future, be healthy as I can be and know that I did everything I could do. So I started seeing Amanda in about October, I think, last year when I got home, and we just kind of went over, I learned so much from her, and we went over what I was eating, how it made me feel, my mood, my energy, the supplements I was taking, how much water and liquid I was taking, taking in my body. In between meals, like I was eating a lot of food, like regularly. I used to snack all the time, and I was like, yeah, snacking is great. But now I've learned that obviously if you're tired and you're craving something, then eat. Don't ignore that, and make sure you're not just thirsty as well. So it's like a lot of things that I learned. And now with my gut, I pretty much eat 3 big meals a day, and sometimes I snack if I'm feeling it, or, you know, I've had a rush day or I didn't have enough to eat for breakfast. You know, I have something, you know, I'm listening to my body, intuitively eating, but I have the knowledge now to intuitively eat. And if I'm thirsty, I'm just going to have some water instead, because I'm like, I don't need food 24/7. We're not made to eat 24/7. So knowing this is just great. And so with Amanda, I learned how different foods affect me and my mood and my productivity, and just like how I reacted, like if I was bloated, if I had a sore stomach, if my skin broke out. all this type of stuff that I wasn't aware of beforehand, that she allowed me and helped me realize and come to learn. So I worked with Amanda from October 2019 to just recently. I finished up with her in June 2020. Really truly learned how to listen to my body through her. I started so with Amanda, I actually went on in February the AIP diet, the autoimmune protocol diet. AIP pretty much takes out all and any inflammatory foods that one could react to. So I wasn't eating like things like cacao, eggs. I wasn't eating eggs anyway. Anything inflammatory I was not eating. So throughout this whole period I haven't eaten gluten or dairy. I mean, like when I was in Europe I had some dairy and stuff and that was so great, but me and Kobe were able to eat gluten free the whole time, so we both felt really great on that because Kobe can't eat gluten either. Amanda, that was the main things, and I also started working out at the gym with her, and having her guidance really helped. I think if you guys are wanting to improve your health and go to the gym, then investing in yourself and investing in someone to help you with that, whether that be a personal trainer or a program, really helps. And when I started with Amanda, I was doing F45 like 5 days a week, and then my acupuncturist also was like, Anna, that's a lot of HIIT. It was like, I don't have my period, so it was like putting my body into stress. And then Amanda was like, yeah, let's stop HIIT training. I always thought like HIIT training was like, it used to work, like the best that it used to work for me, which it did, like when I was younger. But now I'm just like, okay, cool. And I did it for 1 month and I kind of got over it anyway. It was great, like I loved it. I kind of got over it. I started working out at the gym and I put on muscle and I felt really good, and my body it's boosted metabolism and digest food properly, and I'm in a better mental state. Working out, it feels so good and it's so much fun. And that's what I love about working out, and I just feel good. And with the app that she uses, you can see your progress. Every time I was going, I was beating new records. I was feeling good. I was like, cool, I'm getting stronger. And that was my main reason for going to the gym, was so I could get stronger and also put on weight in a sense of muscle, so I could feel better and digest food better and all those type of things that working out does for us. So then I stopped the AIP diet in, when did I stop that? About a month or two ago now. So it's now July, so I stopped in like maybe May, June. Probably June actually. Yeah, end of May, start of June I stopped, because I was like, okay, I was listening to my body, it was getting too restrictive. And I was like, I want to just enjoy life a little bit more. And I'd done it for a few months, like 4 to 5 months. I didn't eat tahini, guys, or any nuts or any nut butter for 5 months. I was so proud of myself. And now I'm not addicted to tahini anymore, and it feels so nice just to enjoy it when I have it and I don't need it. I also found out that I had insulin resistance from a blood test recently, and I found out the other day from the period repair manual from episode 1 that working out for at least 12 weeks can reduce your insulin levels by 24%. So for me that's really important. And then it's another motivation for me to work out, so I can balance my body out through working out. Like, we have so much, like, we can do so much for ourselves and our body and our health. We just have to be willing to do that, to do it. Then, like with Amanda, she taught me the way to reintroduce foods back into my diet, because I hadn't eaten a lot of this stuff in a while, so I wanted to take it slow, which I was so all about doing. So for example, so it was like, you choose a food, you choose one food at a time. Well, this is what I did personally, and that's what I was recommended for my own body and my health. Everyone is different, and watching this, you may be different, you will be different to me. So this is just based on my personal experience. So she said, choose one food at a time to reintroduce, have it once a day for 3 days, and then leave a gap of 3 days to see if you have any reactions. And every food that's been okay, except for eggs. And I used to eat eggs all the time, like before I got tested for intolerances, I was eating them like 2 or 3 days a week. 2 to 3 times a day. Maybe not 3 times, maybe like at least once or twice a day. And I stopped eating them, and then by doing this process, I was actually able to see how I reacted to these foods, because I was taking it slow. And eggs broke me out really badly. Like my skin, especially like this side, like down here, I've got a bit of makeup on now, but it was so inflamed and red and angry. I was like, whoa. So I know now that eggs break me out really badly. And if I choose to have something, if there's a cake with an egg in it, I know that I'm choosing that, and I know how I may react. I mean, it would be like half an egg, or it wouldn't even be that, mix out through the whole thing. It's really nice to be aware of how my body reacts to foods, and I took the time and the effort to do that. So I also learned that through working with someone like Amanda. So thank you, Amanda, if you're watching this. I love you very much. Thank you for everything. And my gut is so much healthier now than it was. Like, wow, I'm less bloated. Like, I'm eating 3 meals a day mainly. You know, sometimes I have dessert, sometimes I snack. It's okay. It's life. Sometimes I have chocolate at 10 p.m. Totally fine. Who cares? We have to listen to our bodies, and if we're craving it, we just got to do it. I have all this knowledge behind me on how I feel after I eat and what I eat and how I react to it. And through testing and experimenting, stopping eating certain foods and then reintroducing them, I know how I react and how I feel, and that is how I go about how I eat now. If I was to do this 2 years ago without any of this knowledge, like having dessert may go too much, and I used to overeat tahini, like tablespoons and tablespoons and tablespoons every single day. And now I've learned all of this through learning with all these talking and working with all these health professionals, and most recently Amanda, that I can now take into my life. And like now I eat 3 meals a day, which I'm really, really excited about, and it makes me feel really good. I'm like, do I actually really need that right now? No. And I realized that if I was overeating, that it was stopping me from doing things like work-wise or career-wise or just like life-wise that would progress me forward in life. So I realized that like an energy and an emotional sense that I was eating mostly over when I finished lunch, put everything away, and then I'd grab the tahini out of the cupboard and just keep eating it. I was like, why am I doing this? It's like, because I'm procrastinating. My ego is like, no, we don't want to move forward in life. But I'm like, yes, we do. So once I realized that, I was able to stop overeating so much. And then I kind of just cut out tahini for 4 or 5 months, and I don't crave it anymore, so it feels really good. Camera did something weird. Anyway, so I've gone through all the diets, I've done everything, and now with all this knowledge, I can truly, authentically, intuitively eat for my own personal body. So sometimes you may, if you want, you may need to experiment and trial to see what works best for you, and take note of how you feel after eating certain foods, because again, bloating isn't normal. Breaking out from eating foods isn't normal. All these things that we think are normal are not normal. Like, some things are normal that we think are normal. But you know what I mean? Like bloating, that's not normal. Breaking out and having pimples is not normal. Obviously, if we're younger and we're going through hormones and everything, totally fine. Again, I'm not a health professional. This is based all on my personal experience. Just learning so much about health, life, and our bodies and how we react. Learned so many different things about if I eat late, I'll probably bloat in the morning, and that's up to me. Like, I can choose whether I want to do that. I can choose if I overeat or not. Like, eating savory food now in the morning as a breakfast, like a full-on proper meal for breakfast, gives me so much more energy during the day. And like, I remember I had 3 bananas with a pancake that I had made. Like, within the pancake and on top, like a month or so ago for breakfast, I was like, yeah, I feel like pancakes today, I'm just going to eat it. And I was so tired, like within the hour. I was like, whoa, because my blood sugar went. So I've learned also how to control my blood sugar levels and just better like overall sense of well-being and health and lifestyle. It feels really good to be less bloated. Like today I've had 4 pieces of gluten-free toast, and I had that with avocado and some ghee, and then I had like a savory, like a leftover beef curry, beef stew that I made with the bread, and then for breakfast I had the bread, and I wasn't even bloated. And I walked today, I walked up hills, I'm just more balanced. So now I'm working with a new functional nutritionist and dietitian based in Sydney, Australia, and that's going to be a next vlog in a couple of vlogs time, so stay tuned for episode 3 coming soon. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed this, please let me know, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because I will be uploading a lot more of these health videos and journey and updates for you all. Really, really enjoyed this, and it feels really nice to know that, to learn more about my body and how it's working and how what I'm doing is working or not working, and it's really only up to us, ourselves as a human, if we do that for ourselves. We have the choice to get better, to improve our health and our well-being and our overall life. And with like health and eating, it also comes into mental state and feeling good and meditating and exercising, journaling, seeing friends, having a more balanced and free lifestyle and life, and just realizing that we're meant to have fun and taking the pressure off ourselves. Anyway, that's going to be in a whole nother vlog. Thank you all for watching again, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and here's to health, no bloating, and living life to the best that we can do, and doing what we can with what we have, and just trusting that we're where we're meant to be right now, and we're learning everything we're meant to learn when we're meant to learn it.